A mayor in the council manager system is the symbolic head of the city. The mayor presides at council meetings, serves as a spokesperson for the community, facilitates communication and understanding between elected and appointed officials, assists the council in setting goals and advocating policy decisions, and serves as a promoter and defender of the community.
I have Mr. Mayor Brad Bark in my chair, and I have some questions for him about his upcoming election.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us about you as the candidate for mayor of Muscatine.
So, my name is Brad Bark, and basically, I've been the mayor of Muscatine since the January 1st of 2022, and it's been a wonderful experience so far. I have a wife named Candace. She's an environmental engineer, and then I have 3 kids. Ruben, who's 5, he keeps us busy. Cora is 10, and then David is our middle child. He's 8. But yeah, that little Ruben keeps us busy, and we enjoy biking on the river, on the trails, enjoying their trails, and just capitalizing on everything Muscatine has to offer.
Thank you. What is the most important issue facing the city of Muscatine today?
I would say the most important issue facing Muscatine today is, I know we've gotten a lot of questions and comments regarding our taxes. The city council, myself, we need to continue to focus on growth of Muscatine and add some little elements to basically entice people to want to come, work, live, and play in Muscatine. And we are working strategically to accomplish that, to bring in more people to live in Muscatine, and then therefore we're hoping to decrease the tax basis at that point.
That's a good answer. Okay, what are your top 3 priorities for the city today?
Great. Housing is definitely one of them. Housing is, I think, everywhere in the United States, housing. Again, economic development is another component too that we're really trying to hit on as well. And then I would say just continuing, not really an issue, but just to continue building bridges all over Muscatine, all the different businesses, all the different entities, public, private, just working together as a team to continue moving forward and putting our best foot forward from here on out.
Thank you. Are there any city ordinances or regulations you would seek to change if reelected?
We passed a lot of ordinances since I first began in 2022. As far as any of them that I would change, I know there's some that we're looking into. Last night we're going to be looking at, actually coming up, we're looking at changing the code, and kind of looking at the code for our 2021 building code as well. So those are things that we're actively working on, which I think is extremely important. And our staff is doing a really good job at looking at that, on how do we continue to grow and make it beneficial not only for the people that want to invest here, but also the people that are wanting to build houses here as well. The contractors, the developers, and obviously the city as well. So I would definitely say probably the building code is one that we're really looking into.
Okay. All right. How would you handle a budget deficit or other financial crisis?
Well, as you probably know, I mean, Muscatine's been in the black, and it's really good. We are blessed to have Nancy, at the helm of the finances, and how would we? The council does a really good job digging into every single issue that there may be. So our directors do a really good job of making sure their budgets in their department are pretty sound. And so we analyze those, and every situation is different depending on what department, but we just look into that and analyze it. Is it a service that we need to keep? Is it a service that we don't? And there's just a lot of conversation that we have during council meetings and during our February budget time as well. So there's a lot of, you have many eyes on the budget, and we'll continue to push to be in the black and continue doing a great job.
Okay, what is your vision for Muscatine in the next 10 years?
Yes, vision in the next 10 years, you mentioned?
In the next 10 years.
Next 10 years, oh my. Shoot for the moon. We just got to keep on doing fun things and having a great place to, like I said before, work, live, and play. Some cool items. You know, we have the world's largest watermelon, so now that's going to have people go down to the riverfront and walk around. We need to continue building more houses. You know, a perception in Muscatine is there's nowhere to build. Well, I've been working with our Andrew Fangman, and there's many places that we could potentially build as we get developers to come in here. So housing, there's many places that have housing as well. We also have a lot of opportunity. We're remodeling some buildings. We're bringing in expansions into Muscatine. So we're really trying to hit on all cylinders and help grow Muscatine. You know, having the indoor sports dome coming up at the end of next year, just another area to add some vitality to Muscatine for just health components and keeping kids busy during the winter times as well.
Okay, well, those are all the questions, and you have some closing remarks for us?
Yes, I hope everyone votes for me on Election Day. I'm really excited to be your mayor again, and you know, as I've told you guys from the beginning, you know, we're going to be as transparent as possible, and also, if you need anything, shoot me a text message, shoot me an email, and I'll be getting back to you as well. But look forward to continuing serving Muscatine and making Muscatine the place to live. So,
A city council is a group of duly elected officials who serve as the legislative body of a city. Council members are tasked with representing the interests of their constituents. In addition to proposing, passing, and ratifying laws and ordinances, city councils manage budgets and investigate city agencies when necessary.
Hi, I'm Sandy Potter with the League of Women Voters of Muscatine County, and today I have Peggy Gordon with me, who is running for the 3rd District, 3rd Ward of Muscatine council member. Hi, Peggy, welcome.
Hey, Sandy. Thank you for the
Okay.
invite.
The first question I have for you is, tell us about you as a candidate for the city council.
Well, I am the current incumbent. I represent the 3rd Ward right now. And maybe to understand a little better is the 3rd Ward goes from like 6th Street out Mulberry to Tipton Road around to Isaac, Little Lake Park, down to Cypress. So it's a mix of the city. I'm very proud to represent that diverse group. So I've been on since 2020. I was elected in 2019, so this is my first term as a representation.
Wonderful. So, what is the most important issue facing the city of Muscatine today?
There's usually several. I mean, it's like we're balancing and juggling, but almost always in the back of our mind is fiscal responsibility. It's very important. I mean, when people choose to live in a town of our size, I mean, we need amenities and support. So I'd say how to be fiscally responsible but provide everything that our residents want and need.
Okay. What are your top 3 priorities for the city today?
Fiscal responsibility. I mean, as we get in, right after the election, that's the first thing we dive into. Always supporting our infrastructure and public safety. I would say those are usually the top 3. And then there's a soft 4, which is always quality of life.
Very good. As a city council person, what is your role?
Well, it's attending, of course, our Thursday night meetings, which are held the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Thursdays of the month. But more important, behind the scenes, is learning and understanding all the questions, ordinance changes, budgetary questions that build that agenda, and helping manage the city. So even though there's 7 of us, we're not always going to vote 7-0. It's a majority rule. So we can vote on different topics as simple as changing an ordinance, and some of those get pretty lengthy, all the way into some major topics like spending, capital expenditures, that type of thing. But we also attend as many events as we can. This morning I went to Coffee with the Cop. I've tried to go there for the last year or so just to have a chance to see any residents that show up, speak to our officers. go to like the Public Works session this weekend or the open house at the fire station. But we try to go to things like that to get out and see the public. Or project meetings. I went to a lot of project meetings on like Grandview when it was under construction.
Oh, so cool. Thank you. Okay, how would you handle a budget deficit or another financial crisis?
Well, the first thing you need to do is take a pencil to it and see if there are any things that can be not necessarily cut, but maybe put off to the future. Because, I mean, we have to pay our people, we have to keep the infrastructure going, we have to keep public safety, we need to keep the quality of life, the library, the arts center. But how do we do that and also keep our staffing at a great level? So you put a pencil and you go, are there some things that we wanted to purchase this year that we can put off till next year, that type of thing. And so you have to negotiate and sort of see what's more important.
Yeah, like a family budget.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, an upset, disgruntled constituent calls you about a street closure, snow removal, or water issue. How do you respond?
Well, I listen to them. I mean, I'm not happy sometimes when things are closed, but you know, when you have over 250 miles of roads are going to get closed for construction. But you know, you listen to them, you try to understand what the issue is, and now we have a new tool. So it depends on the complexity of the issue. We have a new tool called See-Click Fix where you can go in and record the incident, and it gets allocated out to the right person. So it's an online tool. So I would use that. I actually sat down with a older couple that came into City Hall one day, and I was there for a meeting, and we sat down and filled out an incident for them. And it wasn't hard. It was a garbage can replacement. But if it's more complex, then it becomes more of an email to the city administrator, the department head, the mayor, and my fellow council members, that type of thing. So you sort of have to decide the escalation point as to where it fits first. But so we have lots of methods, but listening, I think, is the best.
That's a cool thing. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today. So what would your closing remarks be?
Well, you know, one of my key things with the city is how do we communicate out to people? You know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we had a local paper. Everything went through the paper. Now it's paper, it's Facebook, it's a free paper. It's our Channel 2, Channel 9, but how do we get information out to people consistently? All the great things about Muscatine or critical things. So I want to continue working on that. I want to continue working on the city on lean processes to make us work smarter and leaner, not to eliminate staff, but to be able to shift things around and make it a better place and more efficient. And just let me help to see how I can. I'm a big pet advocate. But in closing, one thing I want to say is I want to thank the League of Women Voters for offering this opportunity to speak to them and the public so you understand who I am, what my role is, and what goes on in the city behind the scenes. So I appreciate that and keep advocating for the voting rights because that's critical.
Thank you very much. John Gingrich with me this morning. He's a candidate for the 5th Ward of the City Council, and I've got some questions for him.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, John. Tell us about you as the candidate for City Council, 5th Ward.
I'd be glad to. But first of all, if I could, thanks to the League of Women Voters for asking me in for an interview, Sandy, and certainly thanks to my friend Mary Wildermuth for bird dogging me and getting me in here and having the opportunity to do this. John Gendrich, 5th Ward representative of the City Council. I'm an incumbent. Feel like it's a privilege to run for re-election in this city and serve our citizens. My wife Julie and I have been citizens in Muscatine here for almost 35 years. Raised our 3 kids, Muscatine High School graduates. We have 3 grandchildren, and you know, our family is spread out from Alabama to Montana and centrally located here in Muscatine as well. So I think, you know, what I'm hearing you ask me is my aspirations to run again, and certainly there's an aspect of seeing some projects through for our city. But more than anything, it's I think just you know, a sincere desire to try to serve individuals in the 5th Ward specifically, and citizens throughout the city of Muscatine too.
That's a good answer. Okay, what's the most important issue facing the city of Muscatine today?
Boy, that's a good question, and you know, you certainly get different feelings on that from depending on who you talk to, but I don't think it's possible to really just focus in on one single issue. It could very well be, but you know, I think we have to have good jobs in the community, and the council is responsible for making sure there's an environment for that. We have to have good schools, and we have to have a safe city.
Yep.
And we've got a good start and a good foundation, and actually are very well equipped, I think, in all those areas. So, you know, as a council member, I don't want to screw anything up, you know, so.
That's cool. Well, you actually answered this question in that answer as well. What are your top 3 priorities for the city today?
I do want to mention this. Priorities, I think priorities for the city, priorities for 5th Ward. You know, I think we want to continue to make progress with nuisance properties, specifically in the 5th Ward. We want to make progress with the flood mitigation plans on Lake Park Boulevard. Housing is an issue for sure, safety, and so forth. So.
Okay. Well, as a city council person, what is your role?
I think to facilitate the people, the private enterprise, and the interests of folks to come to our city council with projects and ideas, and to sort those things out and create a priority. There is certainly a priority of things that we have to do and take care of. So my role is to be a good listener. My role is to evaluate all the information that I can gather and evaluate, and you know, to make a responsible decision and a responsible vote.
Oh, that's good. Okay, how would you handle a budget deficit or other financial crisis?
Well, you know, a budget deficit, from the 4 years of experience that I have, is hopefully something that we're not going to run into in a real serious way. We currently have a 23% general fund balance in the black. I think we have good administration with our city administrator and our finance director. I think all of our department directors understand that they have to curtail spending and do without some things. Yet there's a balancing act of, you know, what do the citizens see as necessary spending, and then what do our directors and so forth see as necessary. We don't ever want to lose any quality of those essential services that we have. And there are things the city council spends money on that are not essential services. So a budget deficit, I think, is going to be adequately consumed with financial organization that we are currently experiencing, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, an upset, disgruntled constituent calls about a street closure, snow removal, or water issue. How do you respond?
If a citizen calls me about any situation, I'm not very good about responding to group emails, you know, a big group issue or anything like that. But if I get a personal contact, I really try to make sure I make an effort to visit with them, go see them, and so forth. And it can be a tough situation because snow removal, it's never done well enough, you know. Yet you know, I talk with Brian Steinman, our Public Works Director. I talk with Carol Webb. I talk with those folks on all kinds of situations above and beyond and outside City Council meeting times. And I'm confident that all those folks are trying to do the best job they can. And I think we'll get through those situations and continue to make you know, progress with how we handle citizen complaints. Sounds like the alarm on my watch, Sandy.
Your alarm
I can't
went
figure
off.
out how to get it off, you know.
Yeah, but you gave a wonderful answer. Thank you. And now, would you like to make some closing remarks?
Sure. You know, it's a privilege to serve. And 4 years ago, I mentioned at the League of Women Voters Candidate Forum that I wanted to be proud of the fact that when my wife pushes me down my hillside in my wheelchair and I plop up over the railroad tracks and hit the river to peacefully sail on down to eternity, I want to go by a beautiful riverfront. I want to go by a city that is safe, a city that has good schools, a city with a good infrastructure and is managed fiscally responsibly, and a city with respect. So like I say, it's a privilege to serve. I want everybody in the 5th Ward. I'm running unopposed, but I would appreciate all citizens that are you know, of the mind to do so. I would appreciate your vote. A show of support is important to me, and I am confident Muscatine is going to move on and continue to be a great city.